Hello, welcome back to the show. I am so excited to introduce my friend Stacey to you. She is my feather. Well, that's fitting. My fellow Earth Angel with her wings. Stacey, welcome to the show, and that's what we're going to talk about first is our feathers, our wings.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
So glad you
So let's
invited me to
talk.
come
Let's
on.
go ahead.
I'm so glad you invited me to come on.
Oh my God. No, we have to tell the world. We have to tell the world about our angel wings because that's something that even I wouldn't say publicly. I wouldn't talk about it. And and she's in my Facebook group for anybody that doesn't know. And we did this chat one night and she starts talking about this. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know anybody else in the world that felt that. So please explain to the audience what I'm speaking about.
Well, back in the end of May, I was helping some friends, and someone else had called me an earth angel. And the next day, I had a sensation on my back, and it was kind of painful. And I had taken my shirt off even, and was like, "What is on my back? Is there something on the back? Did I get a bite? Is it red? What is on there? Because it's not like painful stabbing, but it's irritating me enough where I can't lay on my back. And like there's nothing back there. I'm like, are you sure? You sure there's nothing back there? And I was talking to another friend. I was like, golly, my back is just killing me. I don't know what it is. And then all of a sudden like the light bulb came on. It's your wings. And I was like, is that possible? And so then I started looking it up. Do people get wings? And I found this etherical wings. I think that's what they call them. It's, energy wings. I'm not actually physically growing wings, but they're energy wings and I can feel them. And then the next day I got me up my other wing. So it's like, I don't know, it reminds me of It's a Wonderful Life, how Clarence is an angel and he's trying to earn his wings, maybe, and I was always an angel, just hadn't got my wings yet, as far as that's concerned. And it's probably that people have them and just didn't realize that's what it was.
Yes,
right? The
exactly.
sensation, you just brush it off and go, oh, I don't know, my back's bothering me, and then you don't really say, oh, put two and two together that's what it is. Yeah,
that's right. And I liken that sensation to like severe dry skin, or maybe when like people feel shingles coming on, because it's like a burning, prickling, itchy, tingly, weird, like all encompassing feeling, right? Like there's no denying it's there.
Right, but like in an exact spot, not in your back, but like where you would imagine you getting wings at.
Right in your shoulder blades. Right where I used to look in the mirror as a little girl at my shoulder blades and move them. And my mom would come in the room and she would say, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm trying to figure out why I don't have my wings." And she's like, "What are you talking about? People don't have wings." And she just thought it was the funniest, silliest thing, But then in my late 20s, early 30s, I started feeling this weird feeling on the right side. I didn't get the left side one like you did the very next day. It took me another 10 years to get the second wing. It took me 10 years. But I was doing deep growing in that 10-year period. Deep, like that's when I started activating Kundalini and pushing my energy around and seeing what I could do with it. And that's going to be our next topic, actually, because this lady knows how to do her energy business too, don't you?
Well, and that's another thing that I had discovered, that depending on the frequency of the person I was speaking to, I would just be talking to them on my phone, and my phone wouldn't be charged up. But, after 2 hours or so, your phone's usually about normally if you're talking to somebody for that long. And I'm like, my
Yes.
phone's still at 91%. How is it possible that I've been on the phone and my hand is on fire? Like, a hand is hot, right? How is it possible that I've been on the phone that long and it's still at 91% for 2 hours? But it depends on the person I'm talking to and the energy that we're sharing with each other as far as the subject we're discussing, if we're excited about the future, if we're manifesting something together, if we're just giggling and having a good time. Maybe we're sharing energy with each other. But it was the energy that I was producing that was charging my phone. So now I have to be really careful outside with it, or I kind of short it out and it doesn't work anymore.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
I got too hot for you. Sorry about
that. Yep. You gotta learn to keep it in check, right? Because it gets so big and amplified, and we don't even really know that has happened. And I literally just did a show last night where I was talking about my energy gets so big sometimes. It used to only happen when I was upset, when I was angry or something, that these things would happen with my energy. And then I started figuring it out, learning how to control it better. And now it happens when I'm really excited, happy too. And so I'm learning again how to control that, because I literally changed the radio station in my car. Me and my kids were singing, and we were so happy about this song that we're just like blasting it and singing. And it started glitching, and then it totally changed the station. And mine's an old school dial in my radio. I drive a 99 Jag. It don't have presets and fancy stuff like that, And it jumped stations, and I was like, and immediately my 8-year-old said, "Mom," because she knew. She knew I did it.
I hadn't even told you this before, but I was on the phone with another friend, and he was driving for 2 hours somewhere, and it was almost at one point he was talking, and it was almost like he'd gone into a tunnel. Now, I don't have really good cell phone service, like maybe one bar. He was like, that was really weird. He was like, I have really great service. And I was like, well, I don't, so I didn't really think much about it. Because I'm like, but we didn't lose connection. We stayed in, but it was almost like he drove through a tunnel. And then he was like, I'm here already. It only took me an hour. And he goes, I drove through like a really nice area. Like, I've been here before, but like the route I took was a route I've never been on before. And I drove up on a different spot that I normally don't enter in. And I was like, I think he just teleported.
Yes. I love it. Yes. That's exactly what he did. Your energy connecting the way it did totally moved him. Yes. Yeah. I love that. Have you, I don't know if you watch many of my videos. Have you ever seen the video where I told about the trip that my cousin and I took to Tennessee, and coming back, we teleported and knocked off an hour and a half somehow?
Remember? That's awesome.
Yeah. I didn't think you did, because a lot of people that I talk to don't. And I love that, because that's a beautiful contrast between, that this is all real stuff, because you're not just saying it because you watched me say it,
Yeah, I was like, are you in different time zones? Did you travel in a different time zone and you just got confused about how long it's going to take? No, same time zone. And I was like, you teleported.
That's awesome. That's totally awesome.
Like how beautiful the scenery was, and how he'd never taken that route before, but he'd gone there multiple times. And I was like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So we can experience that though. Yeah. And so it's starting to happen.
You travel through the tunnel.
Mm-hmm. That tunnel part was the teleport, I think.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It was just a quick
Mm-hmm.
little,
Yeah.
3 seconds maybe. I don't know. It wasn't very long. Or not long enough for me to go, hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Are you still there? It wasn't like that either. It was real quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was already
Yeah.
there.
And in 3 seconds, it changed what, an hour?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, we already
Yeah.
have this power to do it, and it's just the energy that we're in.
Yes.
And I think we have to be sort of on
That's
that
right.
same frequency with one another. And maybe we have to have each other to do it, or we have to learn how to do it ourselves. But if we have more than one person, we can do a lot of stuff if we have more than one person connected, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you and I have very, very similar lifestyles and backgrounds. We were both raised Southern Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
And we were taught, biblically speaking, that where more than one gathers in my name, right, we're powerful.
Right.
And so, yes, I mean, like, I can mess some stuff up when I'm by myself, but I can make some things really great when I'm connected to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I can do good things on my own, but we're amplified mm-hmm. in our power. We're amplified when we connect with each other. I mean, I'm sure people are witnessing the energy exchange that we're having right now on this program, because our energy is big together, Yeah. I love it.
I'm surprised I haven't sorted out the computer yet.
That's why I paused. I was actually literally just thinking, my internet connection is more stable than it's ever been. Because usually when my energy gets big like this, I mess some stuff up electronically. So, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes, that is literally why I paused like I did, because I was like, and nothing's messing up. That's incredible.
I've got all my crystals out.
Okay.
Great.
I got crystals sitting all around me all the time. All the time. They're always with, and I always wear them too. Yeah, I always wear crystals constantly. Yeah, I'll keep that stuff close. Okay, let's talk for a minute about the breath. Earlier when we were talking off camera, you mentioned the breath, and I love the way you worded that, because that's I'm always trying to help people understand this in simplistic ways, that this is not some woohoo crap that you can't reach, that this is us every day and always has been. So talk to me about the breath for a minute, what you said about, when you were a child. And
yeah, the breath is very important. I know at one point in my childhood, I had gotten scared. There was definitely something in my room, some kind of spirit, something growled at me, something touched me and growled at me. And I was kind of like, and I think at that moment, I took a deep breath in and I held it. And I was like, if I don't move, if I don't make a sound, it will go away. Right? This was my mind thinking as a child. I had to have been under 5 years old. I don't know what age I was. But so every time that fear comes over me, walking on eggshells with my husband, and I see that anger come out, I was having a tendency of holding my breath, because it's like, what's the next shoe gonna fall, right? It's like, but the breath is so important. And I was like, I just have to remember to keep breathing. It just seems so simple, but that's what I was doing. I was just holding my breath, and I was like, I gotta remember to breathe. And I've got to remember to, ask for protection from my angels. They're there. Ask for protection from anyone else around me, my loved ones, anyone that wants to protect me, to put up a shield. And that's helped as far as not having that fear come over me. Because if I don't have that breath, the fear comes up even more, and your emotions come up even more with me, especially.
Yes.
So I'm able to control my emotions
Absolutely.
a little more.
Yeah. Yes, and that is very important. Yes, and if I may offer going a step further with not just remembering to ask for the protection and ask for the angels to be there for you, but also remembering to sit in your power as God's child, that you have the power and the ability to get you through anything. Because I too experience these type of events. They're unavoidable. And what I want people to understand is that just because you're learning and you're growing as a soul and you're leveling up and you can maneuver energy and charge cell phones and flatten car tires like I did, doesn't mean that you don't still experience these kinds of elements. And honestly, and I don't want to deter people, but honestly, I think maybe we're tested a little harder into how well we can stand in our power and stand in our faith in ourselves as God's child by having to look at these scenarios. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, it's like,
Yeah.
remember to breathe. Remember to breathe. Because before it, such an empath, so emotional. I cried a flipping 2-minute commercial. And if I didn't breathe, it would just bring up those emotions, and it affected me emotionally, and I'm able to control my emotions a little more, where I don't get affected emotionally by it, where before I was. So definitely controlling my breathing is huge. And even opening the chakras, huge. Breath work is huge. It really is.
Yes. Yes. The breath is the prana, and it's the energy of life. So it is what fuels us or can help make us ill. And ill can mean all kinds of things. It doesn't just mean sickness, because there's depression and there's self-esteem and there's, self-sabotage and all these different illnesses that we bring on ourselves when we don't breathe properly. And breathing properly is part of being confident in who we are, and that no matter how someone else acts toward us, we're shielded, we're protected, we're safe. And honestly, if it did come right down to it, use your chi and blast them.
Yeah,
Because that stuff works too. That totally works. People need to, watch some Qigong or some Tai Chi videos, people, because that stuff is real. Moving your chi, that's your inner energy, and it works really well, really, really well. One time there was this friend of mine, a man who was in the same little public area I was in years ago. And he had said something off color to me. I didn't appreciate it. And I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and go home now. So I go to leave the establishment, and I'm walking out through the parking lot. And he comes racing out after me, trying to be confrontational, I think. He didn't want me to just walk off without coming back at him with what he had said. And I'm like, I don't need to discuss this. This isn't my demon. This is your demon. You deal with that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm still trying to get to my car. Well, as soon as he put his hand on my person, right, he grabbed my arm to turn me around. That was it. Because my dad taught me self-defense. You don't let people have the opportunity to touch you. They could hurt you. And I don't know what this man's angle is, or his thoughts, or what he's going to do next. So when he grabbed me to turn me around, I just put my hands in the palm of his chest and just boom, that fast, barely popped him in his chest and sent him flying backwards like a 10, 11 car lengths before he stumbled and fell down. And it blew his mind that I just blew him away the way I did. And I'm like, don't ever touch me without permission again. And I mean, he couldn't even say a word. That chi thing is real. It's very real. And it's a great self-defense if you need it. Great self-defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that leads me to my next thing I want to talk about, physical and spiritual attacks. We all experience spiritual and physical attacks from demons or people who unknowingly become the devil's playground, if you will, to thwart our efforts to grow and level up and be a higher being. So you want to talk about some of those experiences you kind of touched on when you were a child and something was in your room. I mean, clearly this is something that happens throughout a whole person's lifetime.
Well, this was fairly recently. Was I had made an agreement with my higher self that if it was possible when I slept, that I wanted to go and help heal the children. That I didn't want to remember it because emotionally that would be very hard for me to get past. So I haven't remembered my dreams in a really long time, but I had made that agreement. And so I feel like that's what I had been doing for quite some time because I haven't remembered my dreams. Sometimes I'm tired. And sometimes I don't need a lot of sleep either. I'm pretty charged up. Maybe 4-6 hours sometimes, but I'm ready to go again. So they're keeping me charged up at nighttime. But I had woke up in the middle of the night and I couldn't breathe. Again, that breath, right? And I sat up and I was still gasping for breath, like, and I walked to my bathroom, still cannot breathe, cannot catch my breath, turned on the lights, turned on the faucet. I'm still not able to breathe. I'm like trying to splash stuff on my face, And finally, I was able to take that and then I started coughing, and it was like literally like I was being drowned in my sleep. So I was being like spiritually attacked to make me think mentally that I was drowning, basically. I love to swim, so I'm not scared to swim in that regard. But that's how it felt, was as if I was being drowned. And even after waking up and walking around, I was still not able to breathe. So it took me a while to get out of that state where they had put me under, where I was being drowned, I guess, or felt that way.
Yes. May I comment on that?
Yeah.
So I know personally from being a light worker that, I do consciously remember what I'm doing, but I understand you not wanting to remember the dream. I'm not saying anything. I mean, I totally get that. I didn't want to know at first either. I had to almost kind of grow a thicker skin, if you will, but really it was more of a detachment to a certain level of emotion that was happening in order to do the work that I do. But what I was getting to is when I go in the astral realm and I work with a specific part of the earth, or I help to work with the children, right? Rescuing and finding, locating different things that we've discussed before, I have to cloak myself a lot of times when I'm there, because if I'm not cloaked, the other bad guys, if you will, that are also there astrally can see me, right? Like psychically, they can see you there, and they will fight with you. They will fight with you. It's a battle. So that's exactly what was happening to you. But because you're not consciously aware of being there, it's almost like you're living two lives, a double life at this time, right? So I should hope that you will let me to work with you one-on-one to get you to a higher level to where you can protect yourself a little better. Because now I feel like I need to send helpers with you just to make sure you're safe.
Yeah, because I have a hard time getting detached
I don't
with
think you're capable of doing it on your own.
Yeah, I have a hard time getting detached.
I fully think that you're capable
Yeah.
No, and I understand that completely. I understand that. Oh my God, this whole subject with the children is probably the most dark rabbit hole I've ever been in my life.
And I
To
also
put
think it's
it
the one thing
in that kind of terms.
that can connect us all too, as far as what you might believe or don't
Absolutely.
believe. I think if you know that there's something out there that's hurting the children, I think that's the one thing that wherever country you're living in, whatever state spiritually you believe, I think that's one thing that can bring everybody together is the rescue of the children. So let it never happen
100%.
again.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. 100%. And again, that goes back to that shifting our perspective and thinking of it from the higher perspective that God would. And even though this is the most horrendous atrocity that has happened on this planet, in God's divine way, it's the linchpin, if you will, that will unite us. It's the only thing that could have, in my opinion, you know. So, and now I'm going to get emotional.
Yeah.
Because that's a hard one for me. That's a hard
I
one.
cried for months.
Yeah.
Months.
It should be.
I cried. My daughter was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
in a room crying all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, I've got to put it away. I can't watch it anymore. I can't listen to it anymore. I know it's there. I can't, because emotionally it was just too much. I just couldn't take it anymore. And then I think God made that agreement after that. Like, if that's possible, I want to go do that. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to get involved.
Yes. And I love that you trusted that inner intuition that said to you that there's a possibility that I can help in this way. Because we can all help in this way, guys. We can all help in this way. We can all fight on the astral realms to rescue people and help make this world a better place. We truly can. You don't have to leave the comfort of your home. You can do it in your sleep, literally. Just don't do it without proper training, because that could be dangerous, as we just, spoke. And she's a more advanced person at this. So, it can get dangerous. It really can. I've faced my own dangerous stuff, and I don't wish that on anybody. So please don't. It's not for the novice. Don't try to do it if you don't know what you're doing. And also, I just want to double back here for a moment.
Yeah. I was just trusting that I was going to be protected. And I was like, I can't physically, I've never been trained on the battlefield. I'm not a soldier. I'm not physically strong enough to go out there and dig holes or that kind of stuff. And I was like, I can do this though. I can do this. But that's what in my mind, like I can do that. I can go and heal. That's why I was like, I can do that.
Yes.
I want to do that. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. However, with that being said, and that's actually a perfect segue for where I was doubling back to. First of all, you probably were trained in how to do it. You just don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's plenty of us that have been working with archangels in our sleep to learn different ways to win this battle and to heal people. And we come with a certain knowing from past lives as well, I feel like too. But you were saying earlier that you walk in that faith and that trust that they are protecting you. And yes, they absolutely are protecting you. We all have guardian angels. We all have spirit guides that are there protecting us all the time, 24/7. But the element that I want you and everyone else to stand on is trusting that you are there to protect yourself too.
Yeah.
So when you're ready to do this work that you're doing in the astral plane or the ethereal plane, the quantum realms, and you're ready to consciously be aware of that, that's when you're going to sit in your true seat of power, knowing exactly who you are as a beautiful earth angel.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be unstoppable.
Yeah.
You're going to be absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah.
And you're already rocking it.
I had lost my job back in November, and there was about 100 of us that had lost their job. And I was, I had gone in, because they bring you in there, they don't want anybody else to know because they're doing a big layoff. And I took it really well though. I was like, well, I mean, as long as it wasn't a performance of what I had done, I'm okay with it. I'll tell you, well, if you need anything, let me give you my passwords. This is what I was working on. And of course, they were all shocked that I floored them. There was like 3 of them, like, we've never had anybody that reacted this way. Most people are upset. Most people, they get mad or they cry. But I was like really calm about it. And I was just like, well, I mean, it's nothing personal as long as it wasn't anything I did. I mean, it's something it's a business decision you had to make. And I understand that, and I have no problem if you have anything you want to ask me, I'll be glad to ask you. You can talk to me after I leave. I don't care. But of course, they had to go get your stuff from your desk. You can't even go back to your desk. And so I had gone over to my daughter's place of work, and she worked really close by. And I told her about it. I was like, well, I just lost my job, and And I walked back to my car. And I was walking back to my car, and all of a sudden, I got flipped in the air. Like, turned up in the air. So powerful. Like, when I fell, my shoes came off my feet. My shoes came off my feet. My shoes came off my feet. And I was like, I almost thought I broke my elbow. I had bruises on both sides of my elbow. And so I was like, oh, and I was like, I'm laying out in the parking lot. I don't think anybody saw me do it. And I was like, well, let me collect myself, right? I was like, how did that just happen? It was like literally, they just were like, they were pissed off that I was that I didn't take it the way they wanted me to take it, basically. Like, they wanted me to be upset or mad, but I was joyful and not upset about it. I was okay with it. And that they were kind of like tossing me aside, like, fine, we're done with you now. We're done messing with you. We're going to move on to somebody else. We can't fix you anymore. So they just kind of tossed me aside. Yeah.
And it was that one final blow that just like knocked your feet out from under you, made you just slip and land on the daggone. Yes. And those things are real. That is a real spiritual attack. Yes. And people don't think about stuff like that, do they?
No. No,
I mean, they're just like, well, that was a fluke thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hang on a second. Yes. That's fine. My daughter's like, yeah, that's okay.
That's
She's trying to do sign language with me, and I'm like, I can't understand you.
No, it's fine. I got 2 little kids. I understand totally. It's perfectly fine.
So, but I kind of chalked it up.
Yeah, those spiritual
with me. I went to the ER. I did go to the ER to make sure I didn't break my elbow, because it was really odd feeling. It did swell up, but it wasn't broken. He just did a double check to get it checked out. But yeah, it was very, very real. But I took that as to they were really mad that I didn't take it badly, that I was okay, it'll be fine. We'll see what they're going to do next.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I was already feeling called to do something different, like healing wise, whether it was tapping, Reiki, frequency. I always feel like it was something that was in me, even as a child. I was always giving massages to my mom, and like rubbing her temples when she didn't feel good, I had a headache.
Yeah.
I worked for a hospice for like 6 years, and even I'm an accountant. I was an accountant. Okay. But even the social workers would see me coming and they would be like, Stacey, come here, rub on me. They would want me to rub on their backs, and I could see when they didn't feel good. Like,
Yes.
oh, you have a headache, and I could see where it was. So I always feel like I always had that type of gift in me, and I kept getting that calling of doing that. You need to go do this, you need to go fill this out and learn about this. But it's hard when you've been doing something for 20 something years and you've been in that industry for so long and you want to switch and do something completely different, right? And start over. It's kind of scary.
Yeah. It's kind of scary and it's a little hard, but it's something you can do if your calling and your passion is pulling you that way. Absolutely. And sidebar, I was an accountant too. That's what I went to college for. How crazy is that? True story. That's what I went to college for. And then I went into metaphysics. Yeah. So I love that. We didn't even know that about each other. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard, but the more do it.
Are you Capricorn too?
No, I'm a Cancer. I'm exactly the opposite of you. We're both cardinal signs, and we are like the main two poles.
Okay.
On the circle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. I would be like the summer pole, and you're the winter pole. We're like the equinoxes, right?
Yeah.
Or I mean the solstices.
Yeah.
I know what I'm talking about.
Those work too.
But right. But I love that we're both accountants too. I just love all the synchronicities, and I mean, like, and not to take away from this at all, but it's like the last 5 people I've met are like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we're really finding our soul tribe, right?
Really are.
Because they also have all of these same synchronicities happening with them. And that means that you as well would mesh with them, I mean, it's just mind-blowingly beautiful what's happening recently. And I really feel like it's happening just since that Age of Aquarius clock tick thing happened, right? Like we're really all just kind of getting into our notch where we belong. I love it. I freaking love it.
Well, I did this it was some type of meditation where you put out a beacon to find your soul tribe, to find your soul family. And so I put that intention out because I live out in the country, out in the middle of nowhere, and you just feel so alone.
Me too.
You want to feel like there's somebody that won't think you're crazy, that you connect with. And so I had done that once, and then maybe a little while later, I found some more people, and I've done it again since then. I keep finding more people recently, and I don't know, it's just like when you you see the connections, and it's like, okay, I went from, Tarot by Janine to JC to Arcana Shores to, Gypsy Mamas and Glitches, and you kind of trace how you found each other, right? Like, well, these are the steps I went through and what all I went through to now, and how we ended up finding each other. We live states away, countries away from each other, but yeah, we have intense relationships with each other. It's just amazing. It's really interesting. Yeah.
And I don't know, are you familiar with my logo? That's a lighthouse.
Is it a lighthouse? Okay. No, there it goes. Yeah.
It's a lighthouse.
Okay. It's like a beacon. Yeah.
So it is the beacon. And again, are you even on the website? You're not on the website, are you? You're not a member there.
No. Do you have to pay?
No. I didn't. Okay. Huh?
Do you have to pay to get on it?
No.
No? Okay.
No, it's free. Yeah.
I don't know. I
Free
was working so
forum,
many
free
hours.
everything.
It was hard to do everything and be on everybody's stuff. It really was.
Oh no, I had a point to make there that you don't know about this beacon.
Yeah, no. That's really
See, God told me, literally like the field of dreams, God said, build it and they will come. And I'm like, build what? An ark? And God's like, no, a website. And I'm like, I don't know how to build a website. I can't build a website, God. And God's like, build a website. And in 3 months, I had this website put together. And it's so intricately woven now. It's got a free forum, it's got a blog, and it has services that can be offered, not just by me, but everybody else that comes that's going to collaborate and work there on the website to help heal people. It's got everybody, like all of the collaborators' own calendars and schedule and ways to get paid and all that, all set up, waiting there for them. And God said for me to use the slogan that I am the beacon of light that guides you home to self.
Wow.
And that's why I'm supposed to use the lighthouse and also use the torch. And so the torch and the lighthouse are my logos for the website. And that's why the website's called Earth Songs Lovecraft School of Thought, because this is all of us, people like you, all the earth angels in the world, all the light workers. I put my beacon out and draw you in like moths to a flame. And then you have a website where you can sit and put your beacon out to offer your gifts to the world. And you didn't know anything about this at all.
No.
You didn't know anything about it.
No, because
I love that.
I'm watching you like when you first came out. Like you didn't have hardly any subscribers. I think like your very first YouTube shows. I remember watching you from the very, very beginning. And of course, like you only have so much time in the day when you're working full time, right? To watch everything that everybody puts out. And it was like, well, the past 7 months I've been working 10, 14-hour days. So as far as trying to watch everybody, just couldn't watch everything or keep up with everything. And plus I was still moderating other YouTube shows in the quiet and doing stuff like that too, and keeping
the quiet.
Yeah, in the quiet.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that in a minute, but it's all in divine timing, I feel. Don't you? I mean, it all, because even like you said, you've been a subscriber on YouTube since I started this. That was 3.5 years ago. And 3.5 years ago, it's been that long. But 3.5 years ago, I wasn't ready to be where I am now doing what I'm doing. I wasn't ready yet. I knew that it was time to get ready. But the last 3.5 years, that's what I've been doing, is preparing, and getting that ready. And now I feel like it's time to really open my mouth and throw my energy all around everywhere and just be me. So it's all happening in divine timing for all of us at the same time. But it's all been meant to be. Whatever obstacle was put in our way, whatever lesson we still needed to learn, even though we felt like we'd already learned them all, at least in one topic or another, we pretty much felt like we should have been done, but there was still more to do. And so now we're all coming together in this beautiful, synchronistic, harmonic musical flow, right? And that leads me to the next thing I wanted to talk about was how, like, Bella, no. Use the one in my purse, wherever my purse went. I've lost my purse. Here it is. Sorry, she needs phone charger. They're playing a game. But we've all had some level or another of having to work in silence, because there's people within our own homes and our own 6 degrees that don't understand this. So let's talk about that a minute.
Yeah, so I have been moderating 3 different YouTube channels and a Telegram channel, one since September of 2022. And then I picked up another one in January and another one in March. And I did this under the guise of no one in the house knowing what I was doing. But, just kept getting called to help out and do something. Like, what can I do and still be silent, which is hard because I want to not be silent anymore. But at the time I wasn't able to speak out yet. And I was like, well, I can do that. Because it's typing, and I'm good at, I'll keep a spreadsheet and keep the links and post and copy and, keep everybody in the chat. Depending on how many people are in the chat, I mean, you need a lot of moderators in there to keep things flowing. Or if you get a bot in there or something strange, you kind of need somebody in there to take care of it and to promote, different things as far as like, oh, remember to like that kind of stuff. But just some way to be a part of each other, to be part of the community, and to help out in some way. And I keep getting called to do more things as far as, well, can you be on the spring with me, or can you be, like, oh, I could do it yet. I don't have I don't have the freedom to do that just yet, because the people in my house are not awake yet, and I don't know that they're gonna wake up or be okay with it. Definitely still that Southern Baptist, all around me, and would be judged, I think, as far as that's concerned. But I'm kind of at the point now where I'm ready to step out of that. I'm kind of waiting for my daughter to move out. She's going to college again, if that happens, right? And in August,
right.
Which is in a couple of weeks or so. And that's kind of when I'm stepping out. I'm actually taking a Reiki class this weekend. So I'm excited about that. Because I have all this energy.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
Yes. And you're ready to put it to good use. Yeah. I offer a similar course on the website where I teach people to use their energy to heal themselves and heal others.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love anybody interested in learning that energy. So, yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm working on healing myself right now.
Well, I was watching.
We won't talk about that.
It wasn't Alba Wyman, but it was somebody. Oh shoot! It was somebody like her that does the hypnosis, and this lady was her higher self was healing her current self, which is kind of wild, right? When you think about it that way. How she was talking to a third person was healing her current person, right? And she was doing these motions. Mm-hmm. She was rubbing her hands together, like bringing the energy in, and she was breathing. And then she was, wherever that area was that she was feeling like she wasn't healed at, she was bringing the energy up around, and then she was pushing it away. And then she kind of did it a couple of times, and I thought, yes, I can do that. If that's all that is, I can do that. Yes. And so anytime I had felt something coming on, like a cold or a sore throat or something that I physically knew what it was, right? Sometimes you get stuff and you're like, ugh, I don't know where to send that energy to. But if it was something like that, I was like, oh, mm-hmm. I can get rid of this. And so I've done it a couple of times where I just kind of felt like, I can start feeling something coming. Like, nope, not today. It sends you away. Yep. So I've done it myself several times now.
That's right. That's right. And we can nip it in the bud. Yes. Yeah. And I love that. And actually, I love the point that you brought that up too, because sometimes we get stuck in it. Like a lot of times when other people get sick, immediately I'm like, take this, this, and this, and do this, right? With your thoughts, and it'll go away. It'll fix it. But then I get sick and I can't even remember to like put a cold compress on me or something, you know. I don't remember the simplest things like an onion poultice, you know. But and then one of my friends or somebody has to remind me, hey Kelly, you know, you tell us to do this stuff. Why don't you do it for yourself? And I'm like, oh yeah, I need to do that. Because we kind of get stuck in it when it's us. Yeah. But interesting you would bring up the hypnosis stuff, because I also do a type of hypnosis, a type of regression where I take people to the quantum realms and I assist them. They are the one, their higher self, that's healing, but I assist it, right? Like I'm walking with them there and helping to guide them wherever it's necessary to get them connected to their higher self. And then they walk through this healing journey and some really amazing things come out of that. Like sometimes even past loved ones will step into the regression and help sort of coach me for helping them. And funny thing, the first time that happened, I was like, no, because I can talk to ghosts all the time, you know, but I was like, no, we're not doing that right now. We got to do this. And, you know, my mind is thinking I need control on this. And they're over here going, no, listen, no, listen, no, listen. Tell her this, it'll help. So finally, I said it to her, and she went straight to the spot in her body that needed to be, like, she knew immediately from what they were talking about what she needed to look at. And I had no clue. So I was just literally just the medium in that, you know. And it was eye-opening and a good lesson for me to not intrude when anybody from the spirit realm steps in to assist in healing and things, you know. But it is very cool to witness your higher self healing you. It's like the most, probably like from a scientific perspective, the most interesting thing you could witness, don't you think?
Yeah, it was very eye-opening. I was like, this is wild.
I know. I mean, that's so cool. It's so cool. Yeah. I also wanted to make a point about when we work in silence, because of the people around us that aren't on the same page as us or same wavelength or however you want to look at that, we naturally give off this energy of being up to something, like we're being sneaky, because we kind of are, right? We're trying to do our thing without them knowing, so that we don't have the controversy. But it gives that energy off, and then they are viewing us as, well, you're up to something, you're being sneaky. But of course, they're naturally thinking it's going to be the worst, right? Because like you mentioned, your husband would call you at work, you know, who are you talking to? What have you been doing? Always checking in with you, right? Always checking in. Yeah. And so that in and of itself is exhausting, because here we are trying to work in silence and grow and help to heal people. And then we've got this energy over here dealing with us, that's, you know, accusations and checking up and the whole thing. It's exhausting.
It's just like, you know, so, you know, I don't say desperate, just so the yearning to learn, the yearning to grow, you know, because I want to be able to help other people too, not just myself. I want to be able to help myself, and you know, but I want to be able to heal others too, and help others. And so I had met some other people, and so like we were doing stuff at nighttime, like really late at night. So here I am working all these hours during the day, and at nighttime I was probably getting 4 hours sleep. You know, I'm literally under the covers with my earbuds on, talking like this. You know, just so we could have conversations, so we could work on energy, so we could work on clearing chakras, so I could go through my shadow self, so I could heal things from the past. And, you know, just didn't have anybody to talk to really, as far as some of that concern, and not have judgment on it either, as far as, you know, or let you just get through those things. And you need somebody to do that with, as far as just whether it's journaling, but sometimes you need to not even write it down, but even vocally say what has gone on in your life too. Yeah, it was really, really
absolutely. You need that. Yes, you need that energy exchange with another soul, not just on paper all the time. That paper isn't enough after a while because you really yearn for those connections with people that understand what you're experiencing and what you believe and what you're going through. And that's the beautiful thing about having this YouTube platform to offer to people like you, like me, like so many other people, so that they have that voice to say to other people, you're not alone. I'm experiencing this too. So I mean, I love I love your story, Stacey, because you're going to touch so many souls with your story. They're going to be able to relate to this. I've spoke with people all over the world, and they all have this story, and they're all, like you said, don't want to say desperate, but desire it so deeply to have that connection, that soul bond, that feeling of belonging somewhere finally, right? People that get you. And yeah, we hide under covers and we whisper, and it makes us look sneaky and suspicious. And then we've got to deal with that. So,
like,
I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword in a lot of ways.
Are you talking to
Yeah.
Will you do that? Just listen to the music, or no, just gotta put some out there, and it's nothing that should be shamed upon as far as, like I'm working on myself. I'm working on healing myself so I can help other people. And it's nothing that I should be, ashamed of be doing, but I'm having to do it undercover basically, because it's kind of like, well, if you try to talk to someone about your experiences, if they're not on the same level as you, they kind of look at you like, oh, you're crazy, or you need to go see a psychologist, or maybe you need some medicine, or and I was like, no, I really don't need that. This is what I need. This is what I needed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I just heard Spirit say to me that we're like a 21st century secret society that works underground. For a new perspective.
I'm like, I don't know if that's a good thing or not, a secret society.
well, but maybe it's that mirror that we flip, right? Where we turn the negative into a pot. We're transmuting the energy of that, right? We're transmuting energy now. Right. We're flipping it. We're changing the script.
Yeah, because I mean, for the longest time, I was scared. What if, I don't know, someone somewhere figures out my name, and then they're like, oh, well, they figure I'm moderating these YouTube channels, or they see me on the screen with someone else, because I've been on a couple of other with my friend on her YouTube channel, and it's just like, what is the likelihood of that happening? I don't know. And so I just had to let it go, because I keep getting called to do things like this. So like, okay, I've gotta stop and obey, and just trust that it'll be okay.
Yeah. I think that's part of our lesson, fully acceptance too, is to stop worrying about what other people would think. Because like you said, the likelihood of them actually watching the same type of videos that you're doing is probably slim to none anyway. And so what are you really worried about except your own inner acceptance? And I'm not just saying you, but me and everybody else, because I'm guilty of it too. I'm just as guilty of it as everybody else. I used to sit in front of my camera for 45 minutes to an hour just trying to hit the play button because I was so nervous about speaking and telling my truths and my journey, because I was like, what if somebody that doesn't believe this about me, that knows me, hears this, and then I'm going to have to deal with their controversy, right? People I know are like in your face about stuff. They don't keep their mouth shut and just let you do your own thing. They have to get in your face. They're Southern Baptist or whatever, whatever they are. Some of them are Catholic, some of them are other things. I'm not putting Southern Baptist down. I love Southern Baptist people. They're good people. Yeah, they're real good people.
But I've changed a lot. I don't believe hardly anything I used to believe anymore. That's for sure. I'm a totally different person.
Oh, yeah.
Than I was
Yeah.
3 years ago, than I was 3 months ago. I mean, I just keep changing so much that
Right.
even if I were to tell myself a year ago what I'm talking about now, I'd be like, what? So I know it would be
Right.
hard for them to accept it also without getting a lot of pushback, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're also getting a lot of props too.
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of props. And the props are what we need to focus on, because we're always going to have pushback, and we're always going to have spiritual attacks, maybe even physical attacks and things like that. And it's just, where do we want to put our focus on it? And I
Right.
think that's the true meaning to turn the other cheek, personally.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. I think that's the real meaning behind turn the other cheek. Where do you focus your energy of the things that are happening in your life? Because if we, I mean, as well as I do, if we dwell on the bad things, then, I mean, just more bad things are going to happen, because we're just going to feel bad. So we got to focus on our good stuff so that we can feel good, because that's what we want more back of,
Right. Right.
and I think that's a really good simplified version of that too, because a lot of people think that if you've become spiritual, that you're this Pollyanna, new age kind of person that just thinks everything is fluffy bunny tails and rainbows and unicorns and crap, and it's not. It's very tangible, real, down to earth, everyday living. You know, everyday living.
Yeah.
So what else you got to say about it?
Well, I just had the most amazing. I mean, even though I'm doing a lot of this stuff in silent, I've just had the most amazing experiences the last couple of months, as far as being able to share energy with different people, like the teleporting thing, clearing chakras, having amazing experiences with my chakras splitting from my crown to my to my roots. Just I've been able to. I've started hearing different people or feeling different spirits even coming to me. So like that's starting to happen, and it's starting to happen to some of my friends now too, that are in my spiritual community that I have, that they're starting to get some of those gifts. So it's been really amazing to see that happening, because they were kind of teasing me, saying like I had jumped off into the skinny dipping into the spiritual pool, and they were just sticking their toe in it, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, hey.
Right?
Diving in deep, and like, now they're starting to experience some of the things, so that when like, okay, I know this sounds really crazy, but you're just going to sit with this, and be okay with it, but I'm going to tell you what happened. And then now stuff is starting to happen to them too. And so it's great to be able to see things like, wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome, and to see that happening with them too. So yeah, and be able to share that with each other.
Yes. Absolutely. And you actually empowered them to strip away their limited veil and go skinny dipping and cannonball right into the spiritual pool too, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You're like Tawanda in the Fried Green Tomatoes movie.
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie? I love that movie. Tawanda. I love her.
Yeah. So I mean, there's just so
You're
much
like
to look,
Tawanda.
yeah, so much to look forward to in the future. And I know it gets hard, and there's days that, believe me, I'm just like, oh, I don't want to be here anymore, and I'm done, and I'm crying, and I just think I can't handle it anymore. And then, and now next day I'm okay, and the next day I'm like on top of the world, and you're just gonna have up and down days, and and that's okay. That's okay. But I think we have a lot to look
That's
forward to.
right.
A lot to look forward to in the future. It's gonna be glorious. Anything
Yeah.
unimaginable, you're gonna be able to manifest things. So it's gonna be awesome.
Yes. And that was really beautiful the way you put that. I love that, because That's true. I mean, we're all going to, like, it doesn't make you have a perfect world because you're spiritual, does it?
Mm-hmm.
People have this total misconception of what it means to walk the spiritual path. I mean, we have bad days, we have good days. Some days we're really strong and we're Twanda. Other days we're really weak and we need somebody. And I think that's the really beautiful thing about finding our soul tribe, finding our people, is because then we do have that connection. We have that link, you know, for when we've got those weak days.
Yeah,
you know.
I have found that, the days that maybe I'm really low, they're up on a high and they're able to kind of bring me back up. And the days that I'm just on top of the world, they're having the lowest of days. And so we just kind of help balance each other where we're not all, all the time, we're helping each other through it, it's been great so much having that support. If you can find somebody that's like-minded, I know it's hard that it's in your ear.
It is.
I mean, they're not in my area. They're in, thousands of miles away in different states, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And if they are there for you in a drop of a hat, then they're there for you because they're a part of your soul family.
Absolutely. Yeah. And if we had all the beacons in one town, the town would be so bright nobody would be able to see anything. So we need to have our beacons spread out, and we connect and make a beautiful web of light all around the world with our lights. I like that a lot. I used to be really sad that we don't have people like right here that we can physically touch that are like-minded, that be that best friend that can give you that physical embrace. And, I used to be really sad about that in my younger years, but now I see it as a really beautiful, almost poetic divinity. I mean, truly, we don't have it all figured out, but God certainly did.
Yeah.
God certainly did.
I'm manifesting that now. I'm manifesting that now. Like when we go, where we're moving to the new world, to the 5D, to wherever we're doing, that I'm going to be living next to my best friend and my soul tribe, and we're going to be neighbors where we can actually have a meal together and see each other every day and laugh and hang out. Yes. And that's what I'm manifesting, amongst other things.
Yes.
But like that's one thing that I've always wanted is to have somebody like that, and especially now, right? To have that, so like, oh yeah, I should bill you. That'd be awesome. But,
yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's probably why so many people are talking about wanting to live in or create spiritual communities all over the planet now? Because I know so many people that want to do that kind of stuff now. I know people that are doing it in Spain, Iceland, all over the world. I mean, it's something that has roots because it comes from our heart. It's a passion for us to have that physical, tangible touch and camaraderie. And like you said, break bread together, have a meal, go visit them at their house, them come visit you at yours, go do things together, really create memories and experiences with each other. And I think we're all going to have that. I really do. Now, do I feel like it might to the outside world look like more of a covenant? Absolutely. But mainly because it might be 80% female and only 20% male. So it could very well look like some kind of a coven or something to the outside world. But I
really hope the men will catch up. Yeah, I really do. Even in the chats, you see a lot.
Eventually.
Like 90-10 maybe, or like you said, 80-20 where it's female to men. So I'm really hoping the men are going to catch up to us.
Well, me too. I wish they would work on it a little faster, but I mean, if you understand how men work and women work, then you understand that it makes sense the women are going to do this first. Because women trust their intuition more, and they're more compassionate and all of those things just naturally, right? We're just naturally more soft and men are raised to be naturally more rigid. So until they can come to that without feeling like they're losing their masculinity, it's not going to happen, right? We've got all of this stuff happening in society where they're trying to demasculize the man now. So our type of belief system or way of life, or however you want to word it for them, is threatening because they don't want to lose their masculinity. And I don't want them to lose their masculinity. You know, I want them to still be men and do things that men are great at doing, just to have more of a cleansed, open heart chakra and a third eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
More balance.
More balance. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
More balance. That sounds great.
Because I think, like you were talking about how we work in silence and we work in the shadows to do all of this growth and leveling up we've been doing. I think in that we've really learned how to balance our feminine with our masculine. Don't you agree? Mm-hmm. Because we've kind of had to think more like a man, more like strategic. And that's not natural for us. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been very strategic. Yeah. I've had to be very strategic about it. Even though that's what you think, well, strategically, you're like, oh, that's something doing bad, but it's not. It's just, I was just that, like, what can I do? How can I do this? You know, I'm that wanting to do this so badly.
Just sit right there. Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've definitely had to tap into our man skills to get through all of this. And like you said, we also had to learn how to not be so emotional, not so attached to our emotions, to do a lot of things. And like the astral work that you do and that I do, that's something that we had to tap more into a masculine persona for, because the female in us, Lord help us, just isn't equipped to do that kind of, deal with that kind of stuff at all, right? I mean, that's just, yeah. So it's so heart-wrenching, even for men. I mean, I know grown men that they have trouble sleeping at night because of the things that they know now. You know, I mean, it's deep and it's dark and it's ugly, and we really had to man up. Yeah, we really had to man up to know those things.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like being that mama bear too, right? Children. Like, I'm going to take care of my children, and you are not going to stop me from taking care of those children, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, we can be a real fierce force to be reckoned with when it comes to our kids. Yeah, and now all children, like worldwide, all children. Because I mean, I even didn't know how bad it was for a very long time. I didn't know. You know, we were all duped. And so, yeah, it's the thing we have to fix the most, and it's the thing we have to fix the best in all kinds of ways. There's lots of fixing to go on. Yeah. There's lots of different levels of it. Yeah. Do you have anything else to say before we go?
I'm just hoping, you know, that I really feel like it's so soon. Like, it just seems to keep intensifying. The changes, like, that I'm experiencing are happening so quickly now. I almost feel like, you know, we're spread out in like the grid, like you said. And once we have our light is shining so brightly and we stay on that high frequency, it's like we are the solar flash. We, you know, it's coming through God's source, through us, and we light up the grid, right? And that's like the event. We are the event. We all have to be at that level.
Hallelujah. You get it completely. Yes, that's right. We are the event.
We are the event. Yes. Yeah, I get that downloaded in May too. I was like, yeah, the event. They're waiting on us. Yeah, they're waiting on us. Enough of us to get to that level Whether you're awake,
Yes.
you know, I mean, I've been awake, but, you know, there was parts of me that, you know, that weren't at the same as someone else. We all need to be at the same type of frequency and high vibe, whatever you want to call it. And once we're all spread out and there's enough of us there holding that light, I feel like that's the event they're waiting on, right? To hold that light enough. We're kind of we're the solar flash. We're the flash.
We are. We're going to be the flash. We're going to be the pulse that changes everything. Yes. God gave me 3 phrases as a child to walk through life waiting for, to listen for. The Great Awakening, the world as we know it will change, and we are who we've been waiting for. And we are. We are who we've been. We are who we've been waiting for. And you say when enough of us wake up, and we were earlier talking about the Schumann resonance back in June and how it did the cool sacred geometry shapes across the graph. And I think that was a huge signifier that the when enough of us wake up thing happened in June. It happened in June. Something clicked in everybody right around summer solstice-ish time that changed everything. Yeah. I think we're well on our way to lighting the world up in a beautiful, beautiful way. Absolutely.
And I don't want to, you know,
Stacey, it's been amazing. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was like, I don't ever put dates out there, but, you know, I just feel like it's soon. You know, I feel like, you know, almost feel like this calling, I've got to get ready. I've got to get ready. You know, it's soon. It's so soon. I just feel this, it's just a charge. I feel like I can't no longer wait any longer. I can't hold back any longer. I've got to get ready. I've got to get ready. Yeah.
Right.
It's just that feeling I have. Yeah. It's got to be soon. That's what I feel. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm so grateful that you're answering the call. I'm so grateful for it. I've had such a great conversation with you today. I'm so grateful for you to be on the show and show everybody out there how totally normal but beautiful and wonderful all of this is. And I hope that you enjoyed it enough that you're going to come back and do more shows with me. I'll just put you on the spot. No, you don't have to answer. You don't have to answer. I'm just teasing. But yeah, I think I don't even know how long we've been recording because this crazy screen is not even showing me a clock at all. But I feel like it's probably about time to wrap it up so that it's not too long for people because, you know, nobody likes long videos, blah, blah.
Yeah.
We'll cut it short. We'll cut it there, end it there. But I do want to give you the opportunity to say any last things that you would like to say before we go.
Just don't lose heart. Step out in faith. There are doors and opportunities there, and all you have to do is open the door. They're there. Just open the door and go through it.
Perfect. Beautifully said. Thank you. And until next time, be well and be blessed in love and light. Take care, guys.
Bye.